Before assembling the machine, please organize all parts. We have prepared all types of fasteners, and each step comes with a parts diagram for easy installation. Simply follow the steps below to quickly assemble the machine. Step 1. Remove the gantry frame from the wooden box and locate the rear connection tube weldment. Use half-counterhead hexagon socket bolts, along with spring washers and flat washers, and secure the rear connection tube weldment to the gantry frame with hexagon lock nuts and flat washers. Secure the rear connection tube weldment to the double, single bar frame using half-counterhead hexagon socket bolts, spring washers, flat washers, and hexagon lock nuts with flat washers. Step 2. Remove the frame connection tube weldment and foot tube weldment from the wooden box. Use half-counterhead hexagon socket bolts, along with spring washers and flat washers, and secure the frame connection tube weldment to the gantry frame using hexagon lock nuts with flat washers. Secure the frame connection tube weldment to the foot tube weldment with half-counterhead hexagon socket bolts, spring washers, flat washers, and hexagon lock nuts with flat washers. Connect the foot tube weldment to the double, single bar frame using half-counterhead hexagon socket bolts, spring washers, flat washers, and hexagon lock nuts with flat washers. Step 3. Use the appropriate hexagon socket wrench to loosen the hexagon socket countersunk screws. On the base plate assembly, slide the two guide rods downward, keeping the lower end stationary, and tilting the upper end outward. Remove the pre-installed counterweight head from the gantry frame. Place the 25 kg counterweight blocks onto the guide rod, followed by the 35 kg counterweight head. At the front of the counterweights, insert the 5 cylindrical pins and assemble the pin assembly. Secure the slide rod fixing sleeve to prevent it from falling off by pressing it upward. Use the corresponding hexagon socket wrench to tighten the hexagon socket countersunk screws. In the base plate assembly, loosen the hexagon socket half-counterhead screws. On the rear guard plate, remove the rear guard plate. And pass one end of the wire rope assembly through the pulley sequence of B, C, D, E, F. Insert the wire rope bolt into the counterweight adjustment rod. Adjust the tension and tighten the nut. On the counterweight head, tighten the rear guard plate using the corresponding half-counterhead hexagon socket screws. Step 4. Use half-counterhead hexagon socket bolts, spring washers, and flat washers to secure the auxiliary pad. Insert the two middle handle assemblies into the corresponding brass sleeves of the double, single bar frame and lock them in place using cylindrical head hexagon socket bolts in the groove. Step 5. Secure the front guard plate and rear guard plate to the sides of the gantry frame using half-counterhead hexagon socket bolts. Remove the hexagon socket flathead screws with spring washers and flat washers from the gantry frame. Install the water bottle holder using the corresponding hexagon socket flathead screws with spring washers and flat washers, and tighten it to the gantry frame. Monthly. Check all assembly bolts, and tighten again if necessary. Shake the product. If any wobbling occurs, adjust its position or foot pad height. Weekly. Check all rotating parts for smoothness and absence of noise. Ensure wire rope is tight and counterweights are not suspended in a stationary state. Inspect the functionality of the pin assembly and tighten as needed. Apply silicone oil to slide rods and bearing rotation points. Test the product for normal. Use and verify all functions work, including seat adjustment, counterweight pin adjustment, and arm movement. Daily. Inspect wire rope, pulleys, counterweights, and other stress parts for wear or damage. Check the product surface for issues, such as paint peeling, leather aging, softening, label peeling, or surface damage. Replace if necessary. Wipe the product surface with pledge. Remove the rear panel and the right panel, with one person supporting one end of the sliding frame. Detach the steel wire rope from the counterweight rod and pull it out along the pulley. And finally remove the steel wire rope from the screw of the sliding frame. Attach one end of the new steel wire rope to the screw of the sliding frame. Complete the assembly along the pulley. We need one person to help lift the seat cushion frame. And finally attach it to the counterweight rod. Adjust the tightness of the steel wire rope and tighten it. Install the right panel and the rear panel.